There is something people don't say out loud, but they can feel it immediately when they look at you. Whether you are someone who actually does things, or someone who only talks about them, and the difference is subtle. You might say the same goals, make the same promises, speak with the same confidence, but over time, one thing becomes obvious: some people move. And some people just explain why they haven't moved yet. Most people don't notice when this gap begins. It starts small. You say you'll wake up early tomorrow, but you hit snooze. You say you'll start working out this week, but you delay it just a little. You say you'll focus, build, improve. But somehow, the day ends the same way it always does. Nothing dramatic. No big failure. Just small broken promises. Again and again. And again. And here's the dangerous part. Every time you don't do what you said you would do, something inside you changes. Not your skills, not your knowledge, your self-trust. Because deep down, your brain is always watching. It hears every promise you make, and it remembers every time you don't follow through. At first, it doesn't matter. But after a while, a quiet belief begins to form. I don't do what I say. And once that belief is installed, everything becomes harder. Discipline feels heavier. Motivation fades faster. Confidence disappears before you even begin. This is why some people feel stuck for years. Not because they are lazy, not because they lack potential, but because they no longer trust themselves. Now compare that to a different type of person. Someone who says something and does it. No drama, no announcement, no excuses. Just action. Over time, something powerful happens. They stop questioning themselves. They stop negotiating with their own mind, because they know when they say something, it gets done. And that is a completely different level of power. In this video, you are going to learn how to close that gap, not with motivation, not with temporary discipline, but with a system that turns your words into something solid. Something real. Because at the end of the day, your life is not defined by what you say. It is defined by what you actually do. Most people think their problem is laziness, but it's not. The real problem is much deeper and far more dangerous. They've trained themselves to ignore their own words. Think about this. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," and you don't, nothing seems to happen. There's no punishment, no consequence. No one even notices. So your brain learns something subtle. This doesn't matter. Then you do it again. "I'll start next week. I'll be more consistent. I'll fix it later." And again. Nothing happens, but something is happening. Quietly. In the background, you are building a pattern where your words have no weight. At first, it only affects small things. You skip a workout. You delay a task. You break a promise to yourself. But over time, this pattern spreads. You stop committing to bigger goals. You hesitate before starting anything meaningful. You overthink simple actions. Because deep down, you already know what will happen. You won't follow through. And this creates a hidden conflict inside you. One part of you wants to improve, to grow, to become better. But another part doesn't believe you anymore. So every time you try to change, you feel resistance. Not because it's hard, but because your mind is asking, "Why should I believe you this time?" This is why motivation doesn't work. This is why discipline feels temporary. Because you're trying to build action on top of broken self-trust, and without trust, nothing holds. That's why some people stay stuck for years. Not because they don't know what to do, but because their own words mean nothing to them anymore. And until you fix that, no strategy will work. Principle 1. Rebuild trust through micro-proof. If you want to become someone who does what they say, you don't start with big goals. You start with proof, small proof. Because right now, your problem is not discipline. It's trust. And trust is not built by thinking. It is built by evidence. Think about how trust works with other people. If someone promises something and breaks it once, you might ignore it twice. You start to notice, but after 10 times, you stop believing them completely. Now understand this. Your brain treats you the exact same way. Every broken promise you've made has been recorded. Every delay, every excuse, every "I'll do it later." So if you want to rebuild that trust, you need to change the pattern, not with intensity, but with consistency. This is where most people make a mistake. They try to prove themselves with something big. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'll work out 2 hours daily. I'll change everything, starting now. And for a few days, it works. Then they fail again. And the damage becomes even worse, because now the brain says, see, nothing has changed. So instead, you do the opposite. You lower the standard, but make it non-negotiable. Something so small that failure becomes almost impossible. 10 push-ups, 5 minutes of focus, 1 page of reading. That's it. No ambition, no expansion, no upgrade. Just one action. Every single day. Because each time you follow through, you send a signal. I do what I say. And at first, it feels insignificant, but your brain notices. It starts to update its belief. Slowly, quietly. Until one day, something shifts. You stop doubting yourself. Because now, there is proof. This is the first principle. You don't build discipline by pushing harder. You build it by becoming believable again. Principle 2. Remove negotiation. Once you start rebuilding trust with small actions, you'll run into the real enemy. Negotiation. Not with other people. But with yourself. It sounds harmless, even logical. I'll do it later. I'm a bit tired today. I'll start when I feel ready. But this is where most people lose. Not because they can't act, but because they keep deciding. Every time you think, should I do it now or later? You've already made a mistake, because that question opens the door, and your brain is very good at finding reasons to avoid discomfort. It will sound smart, reasonable, even responsible. Rest is important. You need balance. Don't push too hard. And just like that, you delay. Again, this is why people stay inconsistent. Not because they don't know what to do, but because they keep giving themselves options. Understand this clearly. Discipline and negotiation cannot coexist. The moment you allow negotiation, you weaken your own authority. So what's the solution? You remove the decision completely. You don't ask when. You decide it once. In advance. Fixed time. Fixed action. No discussion. Not based on mood. Not based on energy. Not based on how you feel that day. Because feelings change. Standards. Don single quotes T. This is how people who always follow through operate. They don't wake up and think, do I feel like doing this today? That question doesn't exist. The time arrives, and they act. No emotion, no debate, no delay. At first, this feels rigid, even uncomfortable. But that's exactly the point, because every time you remove a decision, you remove a chance to fail. This is the second principle. If you want your words to mean something, stop giving yourself the option to break them, because the more freedom you give your mind, the less control you actually have. Principle 3. Standard over motivation. Most people rely on motivation. They wait to feel ready. They wait to feel energized. They wait to feel inspired. And when that feeling comes, they act. But here's the problem. Motivation is unstable. Some days it's there. Most days, it's not. So if your actions depend on how you feel, your results will always be inconsistent. This is why people keep starting over. They have good days. They feel strong. They do everything right. And then a bad day comes. Low energy, bad mood, unexpected problems, and suddenly, everything stops. Not because they can't continue, but because they don't feel like it anymore. This is the trap. They've built their system on something that disappears. Now compare that to a different approach. Standards. A standard is not something you try to reach. It's something you don't go below. For example, I train every day. I do at least one focused task daily. I keep my promises, no matter what. These are not goals. They are rules. And rules don't change based on mood. This is the shift that changes everything. When you operate on motivation, you act when it feels easy. When you operate on standards, you act because it's required. No emotion needed. No inspiration required. Just execution. At first, this feels strict, almost uncomfortable, because you're removing your escape routes. But over time, something powerful happens. You stop asking yourself, do I feel like doing this? That question disappears. Because the answer is already decided. This is how you become someone who follows through. Not by pushing harder, but by lowering the role of feelings and raising the level of your standards. This is the third principle. If you want your actions to be consistent, stop relying on how you feel. And start operating on what you accept.
Principle 4. No gaps.
This is where most people fail, not because they don't try, not because they don't care, but because they allow gaps. They believe missing one day doesn't matter, it's just today. I'll get back on track tomorrow. It's not a big deal. And they're right. One day doesn't seem like a problem, but the pattern it creates is because every time you skip, you teach your brain something, that breaking the promise is acceptable. And once that idea is installed, it becomes easier to repeat. Again and again and again. This is how people lose momentum. Not in one big failure, but in small breaks that slowly disconnect them from their own standards. At first, it's one day, then 2. Then a week, and eventually, they stop completely. Now here's the shift. People who always follow through don't rely on perfect days. They rely on continuity. They understand one simple rule: never break the chain. That doesn't mean going all out every day. It means showing up, no matter what. On a good day, you push harder. On a bad day, you do the minimum. On the worst day, you still do something, because something is always better than nothing. Even the smallest action keeps the identity alive. And that's the real goal. Not intensity. Continuity. Because the moment you allow a gap, you weaken the identity you're trying to build. But when you stay consistent, even at 10%, you reinforce it. I am someone who does this every day. That belief gets stronger with every repetition. This is the fourth principle. Don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be consistent. Because people who do what they say are not the ones who never struggle. They are the ones who never disappear. Principle 5. Pre-commitment. Plan before failure. Most people rely on willpower in the moment, and that's exactly why they fail. Because in the moment of discomfort, you are not thinking clearly. You are tired. You are stressed. You want relief. And in that state, your brain is not trying to help you grow. It's trying to protect you. That's when excuses feel reasonable. I'll do it later. I need a break. Today doesn't matter. And if you have to decide what to do in that moment, you will almost always choose the easier option. This is where disciplined people are different. They don't decide in the moment. They decide in advance. Before things go wrong. Before they feel tired. Before motivation disappears. They create pre-commitments. Simple rules. Automatic responses. For example, if I don't feel like working gives, I do at least 5 minutes. If I miss my time gives, I do it before the day ends. If I feel too tired gives, I reduce the intensity. but I still act. No thinking. No debating. No negotiation. Because the decision has already been made. This removes one of the biggest weaknesses in human behavior: emotional decision making. When you rely on how you feel, you become inconsistent. But when you rely on predefined rules, you become predictable. And predictability creates trust. Not just with others, but with yourself. Because now, no matter what happens, you already know how you will respond. You don't need motivation. You don't need discipline in the moment. You just follow the system. This is the final principle. If you want to become someone who does what they say, stop depending on who you are when you feel strong, and start preparing for who you are when you feel weak, because that version of you is the one that decides everything. At the beginning, this feels hard. You have to remind yourself. You have to push yourself. You have to fight the voice in your head. Every single day. It feels unnatural, like you're forcing yourself to become someone you're not. And most people stop here because they think, if it feels this hard, maybe this isn't for me. But that's not the truth. The truth is, you are in the process of changing your identity, and identity always feels uncomfortable at first. But if you keep going, something starts to shift. Not suddenly, not dramatically. Quietly. You stop breaking promises. You stop delaying simple actions. You stop negotiating with yourself. And one day, you notice something strange. You no longer ask, should I do this today? That question disappears because the answer is already decided. You don't rely on motivation anymore. You don't wait to feel ready. You don't need to convince yourself. You just act. And from the outside, it looks effortless. People start to notice. They say things like, how are you so consistent? How do you stay so disciplined? Don't you ever feel tired? But they don't understand. You do feel tired. You do feel resistance. You just don't obey it anymore, because that voice is no longer in control. And that's when everything changes. You stop seeing discipline as something you try to maintain. You start seeing it as something you cannot break. Because now, it's not about effort. It's about identity. You are no longer someone who hopes to follow through, are someone who does. No matter what. This is the real transformation. Not becoming perfect, not becoming unstoppable, but becoming reliable. To yourself. And once you reach that point, your words stop being intentions. They become reality. At this point, you might think this system sounds strict, and it is, because becoming someone who does what they say has never been comfortable. Most people are looking for something easier, a method that fits their mood, a routine that adapts to how they feel, a system that allows flexibility when things get hard. But that's exactly why they stay the same, because the truth is simple. You cannot build trust with yourself while constantly breaking your own rules. Every time you choose comfort over action, you send a message: my words don't matter. And over time, that message becomes your identity. But the opposite is also true. Every time you follow through, even when it's hard, you send a different signal. I keep my word. And that signal builds something powerful, not motivation, not temporary discipline, but trust. Real trust, the kind where you no longer doubt yourself before you even begin. This is the real difference between people who talk and people who execute. It's not intelligence. It's not talent. It's not even willpower. It's alignment. Their words and their actions match. And once that alignment exists, everything becomes simpler. You don't overthink. You don't hesitate. You don't restart every week, because there is no gap anymore. Now understand this. You don't rise to your intentions. You fall to your standards. If your standard allows delay, you will delay. If your standard allows excuses, you will excuse. If your standard allows inconsistency, you will repeat it. But if your standard is clear and non-negotiable, then your behavior becomes predictable, stable, reliable. This is not about being perfect. This is about becoming someone who can be trusted by others, and more importantly, by yourself. Now it's your turn, not to feel motivated, not to feel inspired, but to decide, because everything you've just heard means nothing if it stays inside your head. So here's what you're going to do. Choose one action. Just one, not something big, not something impressive. Something simple that you can repeat every single day. Then define it clearly. What will you do? When will you do it? What is your minimum? On your worst day? Make it specific. Make it non-negotiable. And then do something most people avoid. Say it out loud. Write it in the comments. Not as a goal, not as a wish, but as a statement. I am someone who, because the moment you say those words, you create pressure, responsibility, identity, and that changes everything. Now you're no longer just watching, you're committing. And if you break it, you'll know, not because someone else is watching, but because you are. If you're serious about becoming someone who actually follows through, then don't stop here. Subscribe to this channel, because this is not about motivation. This is about becoming a person whose words carry weight. So decide right now. Who are you when no one is watching? And more importantly, are you finally ready to become someone who does what they say?